You're not anxious because you're weak. You're anxious because you were raised inside the most psychologically hostile environment in human history, and almost nobody has told you that out loud. The story you've been sold about your own generation is wrong. They call you lazy, soft, addicted, too sensitive to function. The truth is sharper and far more useful than any of that. Your behaviors aren't character flaws. They're rational adaptations to a world redesigned around your nervous system before you could vote. By the end of this video, you'll understand 5 things about your own mind that explain almost everything you feel, and you'll know exactly what to do about each of them. This isn't another lecture about screen time. This goes deeper. Look, I'm not here to flatter you, and I'm not here to scold you. Both of those make money on the internet, and both of them lie to you. What you're getting today is the actual psychology. Research that's been sitting in journals for a decade but somehow never reaches the people it describes. I'm not going to sugarcoat any of it, because sugarcoating is half of what got your generation here. 5 truths about Gen Z psychology. Each one explains a pattern you've already noticed in yourself. Each one ends with something specific you can actually do. Section 1. You were raised by algorithms. You think your taste, your humor, your attention span, even your political opinions are yours. They're not. At least not all the way. You were the first generation handed a personalized algorithm before your prefrontal cortex finished developing. Psychologists call the underlying mechanism variable reward conditioning, the same circuitry that makes slot machines profitable. Every swipe is a tiny bet on something interesting appearing. Between ages 8 and 16, your brain learned that boredom is a problem to be solved in under 3 seconds. That's not a moral failing. That's trained neurology etched in during the most plastic years of your life. Studies on heavy short-form video users show measurable drops in sustained attention within weeks of consistent use. The platforms didn't just take your time. They quietly rewired what your brain finds tolerable. Stop trying to outwill the algorithm. Willpower loses that fight every time. Put friction between you and the apps that hijack you. Delete them off your home screen. Switch your display to grayscale. Leave your phone in another room while you work. Make using them inconvenient. Make doing the real thing easy. You don't need more discipline. You need a worse user experience. You'll be shocked how quickly your attention comes back once the slot machine isn't in your hand. Section 2. Your anxiety is information. Older generations love telling you your anxiety is irrational. They're wrong. Most of what gets labeled Gen Z fragility is actually accurate threat detection. You came of age during a pandemic, a housing crisis, climate headlines, 2 wars streaming on your feed in real time, and the public unraveling of nearly every institution they told you to trust. Psychologists have a term for what happens to a nervous system raised under chronic uncertainty: hypervigilance. Your brain stays scanning, bracing for the next disruption. That's not a disorder. That's pattern recognition. The real problem isn't that you feel too much. It's that nobody ever taught you how to discharge the signal once it lands. Your friends are going through it. Your parents tell you to stop watching the news. Neither response solves anything. Left alone, hypervigilance turns into burnout, insomnia, and a quiet dread you can't name. Treat your anxiety like data, not weakness. When it spikes, ask one question: what is this telling me to pay attention to? Then take one physical action. Walk. Breathe slow for 2 minutes. Splash cold water on your face. You're not trying to think your way out. You're telling your nervous system the threat has passed. Section 3. Identity became performance. You don't have an identity crisis. You have a performance crisis. The difference matters more than you know. Every generation before yours got to figure out who they were in private, through awkward years, embarrassing phases, ugly drafts of themselves nobody saw. You had to do it on camera. A sociologist named Erving Goffman wrote about this decades ago. He described life as a stage where we manage impressions. He never imagined a stage that runs 24 hours, lives in your pocket, and scores every performance in real time. Your brain starts treating every choice as a potential post, every outfit as branding, every opinion as a position you'll have to defend. That's exhausting because it is exhausting. The cost of constant self-monitoring is the loss of the unmonitored self, the one who actually grows. Build deliberate offline hours where you do things badly, on purpose, with zero documentation. Take a class you'll suck at. Write something nobody will read. Have conversations you don't quote later. You won't find yourself by curating yourself harder. You find yourself in the rooms where nobody is watching. Section 4. You compare constantly and quietly. You think you're past the comparison thing. You've seen the Instagram versus reality memes. The highlight reel isn't real. You're still doing it anyway. Awareness doesn't immunize you. Researchers studying social comparison theory found that even when people consciously know an image is curated, their nervous system still reacts as if it's competing with a real peer. You scroll past one cousin's promotion, one stranger's abs, one friend's vacation, one ex's new partner, inside 90 seconds. That's more lateral comparison than your grandparents did in a year. Studies tracking envy on social platforms show the effect compounds the more you scroll. The lower your baseline mood sits, often for hours after you put the phone down. The result is a slow, ambient sense of being behind in a race nobody officially started. It doesn't crush you outright, it drains you daily in the background. Curate ruthlessly, not casually. Unfollow anyone whose feed leaves you flatter or smaller, even people you genuinely like. Replace 30 minutes of scrolling with 30 minutes of doing the thing you keep envying. Envy is a signal pointing straight at desire. Stop watching it from the sidelines and go after it. Section 5. You're not lazy, you're overstimulated. You sit down to work and feel exhausted before you've started. You assume you're broken, unmotivated, or somehow defective. You're none of those things. Neuroscientists have a name for what's happening: cognitive overload. Your brain runs on a finite daily budget of decisions and attention shifts, and yours gets blown through before noon. Notifications, news cycles, group chats, micro decisions about what to watch, eat, click, reply to. By the time you reach the task that actually matters, the tank is dry. That's not laziness. That's a depleted nervous system masquerading as a character flaw. It builds quietly. You convince yourself you'll feel ready after one more video, one more reply, one more scroll. The opposite happens every time. The shame you pile on top of it makes things worse. Because shame itself burns attention you don't have to spare. Protect your first 90 minutes after waking. They pay your rent. Because they do. No phone, no news, no group chats. One glass of water, one hard task, in that order. If you take nothing else from this video, take that. Watch how much of what you called laziness was just a brain that never got to start the day on its own terms. Here's what you walk away with. You are not broken. You're adapted. Every behavior older generations criticize you for is a logical response to the environment they built and handed to you. The work in front of you isn't to fix yourself, it's to recognize the systems shaping you and decide, deliberately, which ones you let keep doing it. That's the real work of your decade. Not productivity hacks, not optimization, awareness followed by choice. Algorithms trained you. Anxiety is information. Identity isn't performance. Comparison drains you in the dark. Overstimulation isn't laziness. You don't need to become a different person. You just need to stop apologizing for the one you already are and start running the operating system nobody bothered to teach you. If any part of this hits something true, save it for the next time someone calls your generation soft. And if you want more videos that talk to you like an adult instead of a problem to be managed, subscribe. That's exactly the channel I'm building. Tell me in the comments which of the 5 hit you hardest. I read every one.